Okay, by request, I am going to demonstrate how to model the pig. For those of you that might need some reminders, this could be helpful. Okay, let's begin. So the first thing we needed to do was to download the pig reference images, and those are found on the blog. And you just right click on the image, save image as, and then save them. Okay, go through and save these 4 photos. Okay, I actually added the back one just as a reference, but we will not be adding that one into Maya. So once you've downloaded those images, go into Maya, tap the spacebar to switch to the 4-view menu, or you could get that menu by pressing the second preset. To add an image, you need to add them in the top, front, and side views. Do not add it into the perspective view. To do this, you select the 4th button in the panel window. Then you find that image. This is the top window, so I'm going to use pig top, open. Okay, do that for all. Once you have added all 3 images, they will need to be adjusted. When you model a character, your characters need to stand on the grid. So we need to move these pig images up so that they are standing on the grid. To do this, you go to the window that needs to be moved, for example the front view, and then I go to the camera settings. Opens up this setting window, and the image is on the 3rd tab. Once in this tab, I can scroll down to the bottom of the list and change my center Y to about 13. I can repeat this on my side view. It's about 13. Okay, if your pig images are different sizes, that can be adjusted by comparing the width. I have 30-30 and 30-30, so they are the same. Once you have brought up the images to stand on the grid, you can leave the top image on the grid. We need to move the images back out of the way. So to do that, we're going to adjust another setting here. The front view, I need it to move back in Z. I'll go -20. And then the side view, I need to move back in X. So I'll go here, -20. Okay. And that is how you set up your image planes. Once you have done that, we use a cube to start modeling. The reason why we use a cube is because it has 4-sided polygons and it doesn't have any poles, and we can start simple and go to complex. So when I create a cube, it's important to use all of the vertices that you have available before you move on and insert more edge loops. So I can add and start shaping here without needing to add more vertices. I can start getting the shape of the pig. Switch to the side view. Start moving them around. Okay, the pig images will not line up perfectly from side to front. Use them as a guide to get the basic shape. There I have the basic shape, and I've done pretty much all I can do without adding any more edge loops. So now I'll go to Edit Mesh, Insert Edge Loop, add an edge loop this way, and now I'll use those vertices before adding any more edge loops. Having that middle edge loop allows me to scale these in and to start rounding the shape. Okay, I just paused it to do a little more touch-up. Now I'm going to go to Edit Mesh, Insert Edge Loop, and insert an edge loop going down the front. Now that I have that in place, I can move those vertices, and I could use the edge tool to do that. It moves the 2 new vertices I added. Also, I have a vertex here I haven't moved yet. I could move that up. And the vertex on the bottom I could move. Okay, so when you model your pig, one of the restrictions I'm having you have is that going down on the model, you shouldn't have more than 12 faces going down. Right now, going around, I have 8 faces. So I can add 4 more faces. However, going up, you're not limited, though you shouldn't add too many. The less you have, the easier it is to modify. So if I go to Edit Mesh, Insert Edge Loop, I could add one here. I'll choose Scale and scale it out. Go to my front view, test it out. Looks pretty good. Press G to repeat the last tool. Scale that out. G again. Repeat that tool. Scale it out. And I just add the amount of edge loops that I need. For your model, you probably won't need more edge loops than I have here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could probably add up to 8 if you really feel that need. Okay, but again, going around the other way, I do need to add 1 more edge loop here and 1 more edge loop here. I'm going to pause this and finesse it a little bit before moving on. Okay, I've spent a few minutes to be able to round it out so that it doesn't have any hard edges. You can press 3 to see the smooth version of it, but it needs to look good also unsmoothed. Unsmoothed is like the game version, and smoothed is like the movie version. Okay, one thing is that I'm going to point out that I have done is going to edge mode and double clicking this bottom edge loop. I'm moving it down. I'm going to move it down a little bit so that I have these 4 faces here that I'm going to use to attach the legs, so that I have an opening in between my legs and then these 4 faces. So I will need to add another edge loop right here to compensate. Okay, moving on, the next thing we do is build the arms and legs, and again we start with the cube to keep it simple and to have 4 sides. Block in the basic shape. I'm going to go from one end to the other, get the main points, from the front view, adjust it as needed from the side view, and now start inserting edge loops. Okay, when you model this, the arms and the legs, you should not have more than 8 faces going around it. So I have 6 and now 8 going around, no more than that, but you can add more going down in detail. So you need to be able to round out your shapes. I'm going to do that by scaling. So now it's rounder. It'll take time to finesse as well. Now I can add edge loops going down it. Starting simple, I'll add one for the ankle. You need edge loops everywhere that the character is going to bend. And he's going to bend at his ankle, at his knee, and at his hip, which we have there. So adding edge loops around those areas will be helpful, be able to shape the detail. And again, every time you insert an edge loop, use those edges. There, I've used all those. Insert an edge loop down here, and start stretching out. Okay, I'm going to pause the film again, make some adjustments. Okay, I've gone through and added more edge loops. It looks good unsmooth, and it looks even nicer smooth, but it still needs to look like the shape we want here. I've just pushed it up so that it goes into that a little, and we're going to connect these on the next part of this tutorial. At this point though, I could duplicate this leg and scale it the negative direction. So hitting Control A, I bring up this box, and then I can go -1, and now it's the opposite of the other side. Okay, and then now I'll move on to the arms. Create the arm. Starting simple, going to specific. I'll move the points that I have. As much as I can. And then start adding edge loops. Again, going down the arm, there should be no more than 8 edge loops, which this has 8 edge loops going around it. And then you can insert more edge loops this way. So starting with the wrist, you need to be able to bend it needs to be able to bend at the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. So make sure you have enough edge loops for that. Okay, I'll pause it and finalize this part. Okay, so I've taken a few minutes to adjust him. When I smooth this, the fist is looking better in the smooth mode than not. So I need to keep fine-tuning the edges and moving them just ever so slightly so that you get the rounded look. Okay, it should have a suggestion of roundness even in the polygon mode. Then when we switch to smooth mode, there shouldn't be too much change. That's better there. I can probably even insert another edge loop here. Go around, scale this. Double click these edges. Scale this down. Bring this in a little. There, it's a lot better. Okay, so again I could just duplicate this, move it to the other side, scale -1 and X. Okay, or if you had scaled your arm along the way, maybe it's 0.02, and so it's -0.02. Okay, so now we'll go on to the next tutorial.